Okay, so in this video, we are doing another quick recap for those of you currently in the market for the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE. Not a lot of tablets like this one, so let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, if you are in the market for the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE, this is the perfect time to grab one. Currently, this guy here is going for $399 on the Samsung website. I will have a dynamic link in the description if you want to go ahead and grab one. Of course, I always say dynamic because that link is always tracking deals, right? So if you click that link, it should take you to the Samsung website where you could grab this guy here for $399. However, if that deal has expired at Samsung, so if that deal is no longer available, what the link is going to do is going to reroute you to, the next best deal, right? So it could be Best Buy, Target, wherever the best deal is, it will reroute you there. So make sure to hit the link as opposed to going and, typing in Samsung or whatever the website is. But anyway, so this is a quick recap in case you are not aware of what the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE here has to offer. And by the way, if you are trying to grab one, I would actually advise for you to go to upgrade the internal storage, right? Because this, as of the shooting of this video, is going for $399. But if you upgrade to 128 gigs as opposed to 64 gigs, that will cost you $419. So you'll be paying that extra 64 gigs, you'll be paying $20 for that. Again, that's just my take. Now, which way is right and which way is wrong? If you're planning on selling a tablet later, because 128 gigs, you'll probably sell it at a higher price than if it were 64 gigs, right? So these are just some of the things to think about. Whether you're buying the 64 gigs or the 128 gigs, you have the ability to expand the storage out up to 1 terabyte using a micro SD card. Again, what I'm saying is that you'll be saving about $130 if you buy the 64 gigs, but you'll be saving up to $180 if you are buying the 128 gigs. Anyway, so this is a massive display, and at 12.4 inches, this is something that artists absolutely love, or people who just want a very large display or a very large tablet. What you have here is a dual setup here for the speakers, right? And these are tuned by AKG, meaning the speaker or the sound quality coming out of these speakers is very crisp, very good sound quality. And of course, with the dual setup, when you have it here, as you're holding your tablet this way, your hands are not covering the sound, and the sound, comes out without being muffled. At the bottom here, in terms of port, is a USB Type-C port. What this is a more standardized port, right? So you don't have to look for specialty or for special cables that are gonna cost you more just to plug in here. So that's always good there. On the back, what you have is an 8 megapixel camera, right? It's set up as if it's a dual setup, but it's actually a dual module, or a module that contains 2 lenses, but right now it's just one lens. It's an 8 megapixel, and this is a 5 megapixel on the front here. This is what's matching what you have on the Tab S6 Lite, the Tab A8, and all that good stuff. It's the same camera that's being reused here. So in terms of quality, it's not necessarily the best out there, but it's very good in terms of scanning documents, things like that. And the front facing camera here is also good for video calling, right? So if you're planning on buying this, you're going to be, doing your courses online, and you're going to be listening or watching or talking to your teacher and things like that, this is good for that as well. As long as you make sure that the setting you're in is well lit, you should be fine there. And that should really do it in terms of physical features. Now, you will notice that it looks, well, at least in terms of size, it's the exact same size as the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus and the S8 Plus. Now, if you were to go for the 5G model of this same tablet, they actually make the back look just like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus and the S8 Plus. Anyway, jumping right into the chipset here in terms of performance and some of the specs that you're dealing with here, what you have here is a Snapdragon chipset. That's a Snapdragon 750G if you were to go for the 5G model. But if you go for the Wi-Fi model, like what I have now, that would be a Snapdragon 778. Yes, you've noticed, or you've heard it right. So if you go for the Wi-Fi model, you get a Snapdragon 778, which is a bit more powerful than the 5G model, which is a Snapdragon 750G. In terms of just, user experience, when it comes down to watching videos, YouTube videos, watching movies and things like that, it's a wide tablet. The aspect ratio is very nice because, you have that kind of wide cinematic display on the tablet here. So that's very good. In terms of actual performance, it's a pretty good performer, right? It's a mid-range tablet, but it's kind of higher up on the Android mid-range tablet spectrum, right? So it's placed a little bit higher than the other ones. So you can definitely expect to do some good level of productivity on a large display like this. Of course, you do have Samsung DeX added here, which, in case you don't know, is actually one of the best way to be as productive as possible on the tablet or on the Android tablet, because it literally mimics what a desktop would be doing, right? So you get that same background you would get on the desktop, and you're able to do so many different things at the same time, open so many windows, and it allows you to be almost as productive as you would be on a productivity tablet on the Android side, right? And of course, if you push it way too hard, then obviously you'll see some stuttering, a little bit of freezes here and there. I haven't encountered any crashes with this particular tablet, but something to keep in mind. This is great for people, for students, right? If you want something like this for school and things like that, this is a fantastic tablet for it. If you own a small business, you want to run your business out of, from this tablet directly, you can do that. Plus, remember, it does come with a Samsung S Pen. Sure, it's not an active S Pen, but you have to keep in mind that Samsung S Pens are always loaded with a ton of features. So even the non-active ones feel like they are active, right? Because they have so many features here. And of course, one thing that I can never emphasize enough is the user experience. When it comes down to user experience with the S Pen here, it's one that is not matched by any other manufacturer, any other tablet out there. I'm not talking about like if you go beyond the realm of tablets, right? But I'm talking in terms of just tablets, this is the best user experience. It's actually the general consensus in the tech community. Now, still sticking with specs here and looping back on the display, what I mentioned earlier was 12.4 inches display. This is a TFT display, by the way. The resolution here is 1600 by 2560, I believe. So still pretty dense, right? So in terms of PPI, you're looking at 243, right? So that's the density that you have here. Again, when it comes down to watching movies and things like that, you will be just fine. You also have a pretty large battery loaded in here. You're looking at a 10,090 milliamp battery. That's the same size that you have on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus and the Tab S8 Plus, right? So it's a large battery. It should last you a good chunk of the day. You should be able to see an entire day with it. I always say this, I'm a power user and I'm able to see the full day with this guy here. And of course, Samsung will support this guy here. It will support it at up to 3 years. Like I always say, of course, it doesn't mean that after 3 years it stops working, right? If you are looking to buy this particular tablet, then maybe you knew that already. But anyways, for those, to those of you who don't know, Samsung will support this at up to 3 years, right? And up to 4 years when it comes down to security updates. But your tablet will continue to work even after the support has expired. So that's something to keep in mind. And one thing I forgot to add when I was talking about battery is the fact that this guy here can support actually 45-watt charging. You can charge this faster with a faster charger. But anyway, so my take is this. If you're currently in the market for this particular tablet, because not many are like this one, right? So you don't find a lot of 12.4 inches tablet that are mid-range that would compete with this. But if you happen to be in the market for a mid-range tablet and you happen to consider this is a time to grab one. And if you want to go ahead and grab one, I would advise for you to go for the 128 gigs for $419. I think that's a pretty decent price for it. Or you can simply go, of course, for the 64 gigs and expand the storage. Either way, I don't think you can really go wrong. So my take is go for it. If you can, make sure to hit the link in the description so that it can take you to the best deal. If you have any questions about this particular tablet, let me know in the comment section. I will catch you in the comment section. Make sure to share this video if you know anyone who will be interested, and make sure to like, subscribe, of course, if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the comment section. Like I said, I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.